Oh my God, my self talk journey and the things or the negative self talk that I have the tendency to say to myself, they must really think I'm stupid. I'm disturbing that person. Why are you like this? That's not for me. I look a mess today. You're procrastinating again. This is so hard. I don't know how to do that. I'm just like this. You talk too much. You're not confident enough. You need to be more like that. Try to be more like this. Honestly, the list can go on and on and on. Ever since I was younger, somehow I knew the power of words. Like now, of course, I'm saying it with a lot more reflection and so much more time to have thought about it. But I knew what words could do when I was young. And I know that every time that I say these things, or even when I'm actually in situations, that this little subtle voice creeps in. There's this voice that again and again and again repeats over and over and over for years and years and years. And this is an instruction that I'm giving to myself, to my brain, to my life. And that's just how it works. So I want to intentionally change the instructions. I want to intentionally and purposefully rewire, or uninstall that program that I've been living by, because essentially that's what it is. It's so many conditions and so many different so just so much different input that I start to actually believe that. This journal is full of self-talk that I have written for myself on my own journey. Our self-talk is like the rehearsal before the performance. It's like the practice before we actually do the live performance. And for me, I noticed that I was rehearsing criticism, judgment, rehearsing burnout, rehearsing being overwhelmed, rehearsing bad relationships, rehearsing drama, gossip, just rehearsing so many negative tendencies. And so when I was actually on stage, when I was actually on stage, then everything that I rehearsed was showing up in that present moment. And then when it actually was manifesting itself in real time, then I go, of course I'm like this, or of course this is like this. And it keeps reinforcing itself. That story that I keep telling myself, it's not an inherently true story. The story is being reinforced by the pattern that I keep inflicting through the way in which I converse with myself, through the conversation, the internal dialogue that I am having with myself. And of course, if that internal dialogue, because we don't escape ourselves, we're with ourselves all the time. It's not that I am a bad person. It's not that I am any of these things. It's just biology. It's just the way that my brain works. It's just the way that the nervous system works. It's just the way reinforcement works. The pattern works. Conditioning works. It's just the way these things work. And if we can understand how these things work at a root level, then we can understand that we have complete control and ability to reprogram, to change, to shift, and to transform ourselves in the way that we actually view ourselves, and also challenge some of these old stuck negative beliefs or stories and conditioning that might not actually be useful for us into our lives. I always say this to people, that you cannot run from yourself, especially as someone who has traveled to so many different countries and so many different places. You cannot outrun your own beliefs and attitudes and behaviors, because no matter where you are in the world, they will find you. They will find you. You can be in a place that is considered paradise, And if you are suffering inside because of your belief system, your attitude about the world, the way you speak to yourself internally, and your behaviors, then you will inevitably feel pain and suffering. And so for me, it's really been being so mindful about what am I saying? And sometimes in a moment, like it's so interesting. Sometimes I'm sitting there, or even it just come out. Actually, yesterday I said to my friend, I'm so sick. And then I was like, first of all, actually, no, I'm not so sick. Like, I'm not even so sick. My throat was experiencing a little irritation and inflammation. And I said, am I actually so sick? And in that moment, it's like those moments where it's like, girl, be careful what you say. Be mindful of what you say. And it can seem like, oh, that's no big deal. But when we continue with that storyline for a very long time, then we give that information to our brain, which gives information to our nervous system, which becomes our reality. And so that happens so often, like a slip of the tongue. My grandmother would say, a slip of the tongue. We say things and then we might actually look up and be like, that's the energy, that's the thought pattern, that's the story, that is the conditioning that I am actively strengthening.